toy collectors, welcome to another super exciting, outrageous toy review. I've got my buddy David Croft here, and we are going to take a look at the poll results of the top 10 G.I. Joe figures as chosen by the G.I. Joe Real American Hero 1982 to 1984 group on Facebook. It's got kind of a long title there, but it perfectly describes what that group is all about. So, Dave actually ran these polls, and people voted on every single release. This first poll for the 1982 figures has 322 total votes, so quite a few people weighed in. And the number 10 figure was Clutch, vehicle driver.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Clutch.
Oh, really?
I mean, I like him. I army build him, like everything, but I think he's an okay figure.
He's a little bit more unique than a lot of the guys from that year, with having his own chest.
Yeah.
Number 9, we've got Cobra Officer.
I mean, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with Cobra Officer.
Number 8, we've got Grunt. Maybe the least exciting guy.
I'm actually surprised he's not higher.
Yeah?
I know a lot of people who like Grunt.
I mean, he was the face of G.I. Joe for a couple years there.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a generic, I mean, that's the point, but very generic figure.
Yep.
Number 7, a lot of people love this guy, Breaker. There's a lot of people that say Breaker was their first Joe.
Yeah. It's a cool figure. I'm actually, again, that's another one I'm surprised isn't higher.
Yeah, okay. Number 6 is another figure I hear kind of tied with Breaker.
Yeah.
Flash being people's first G.I. Joe figure.
Well, and I think it's because he's got the orange.
He pops on the shelf.
Yeah.
He jumps out, especially in that sea of green.
Totally.
Number 5, we've got Scarlet, who...
I mean, you can't go wrong with that figure.
The leading woman of G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I mean...
And especially once the cartoon came out. Like, if you weren't a fan of her figure, you had to become a fan of her as a character if you watched the media or read the comics. She was a core character in both of those things.
Yeah.
Number 4, we've got Rock and Roll, who's definitely a very standout figure. The unique torso with the bandoliers.
I mean, clearly like a reference to like Vietnam and the N60 and everything. Like, yeah.
Number 3, we have Stalker, which was actually Dave's vote and my vote. I think he's one of the best figures because of the amount of deco he's got.
I think he's awesome because he's such a unique looking figure.
Yes.
First of all, he's African American.
Right.
He's a Green Beret, which was my first introduction, really serious introduction to Green Berets. And then he's got the beret, he's got the camo pattern, he's got a single gun, he doesn't have a backpack and a helmet and all that. He's just simple but badass.
Yeah. He really is one of the most intriguing looking figures just to see. Put him on your shelf, whatever. Like I think he was one of the best guys that they did when they scaled him up for the Gentle Giant figures. He just looks good.
He's awesome
in that scale. Number 2, no surprise, or maybe a surprise he didn't make number 1, Snake Eyes. I mean, just the most popular character in all of G.I. Joe. That first figure, in a lot of ways, it's interesting he became so popular, though. You would think he would have been the one that, like, hey, I got the all black guys.
Yeah, the kids would be bored. Like, they'd be bored of him or something.
But somehow the mask, the explosive pack, the Uzi just made him so popular. And I get it. Like, if you read the comics back in the day, you would have had to have loved Snake Eyes. Like, he is such a good character, especially over the course of the comic. He grew into such a huge character. But as an initial figure, it's real interesting how that character really blew up.
Yeah. I think, too, what makes him... I think the fact of like him being mysterious and he's got the mask and like the whole, like you said, I think the comic I think without the comic he wouldn't be as popular as he is.
I agree.
I think like the comic makes him who he is.
Yes.
I mean, so but I am really surprised that like a figure that has no paint apps, like and has dark gray weapons, like, and he seems so boring.
It's
like
a lazy figure.
Yeah, totally lazy. I mean. But he's awesome.
He's great.
Yeah.
And then our number 1 spot, Cobra Commander, who you can't argue, that is a great figure. Yeah. Very cool looking. I do think it's really odd that they picked to make him in a different shade of blue than the Cobra Trooper and Cobra Officer.
That is a little strange. Yeah. And they never made one that fit that color either. Like, even the hooded is not the same blue.
Right.
So it's interesting.
It's a very interesting choice to just like, we'll make him stand out a little bit.
But I mean, clearly, like one of the most iconic figures from the GI Joe line.
Yes,
ever.
The silver mask, the gun that fits on his back. He was very unique, and then even when they translated him, like the artwork made him even cooler. Like details that aren't quite in the sculpt, like the way the face mask goes into the helmet in the cartoon and the comics, just looks even cooler.
Yeah, totally.
So I can't really complain with this list. There's nobody in this top 10 that I think doesn't really deserve it. In a year where it's mostly just green shirts, you kind of that bottom portion of the list, the bottom half, you could kind of shuffle it up, and nobody would complain too much. I will point out that Short Fuse got the short end of the stick, being the least voted for character.
Yeah.
What does people not like about Short Fuse?
You know what though? Like if you look at the rest of the list, like I would maybe think Grand Slam would probably be last. Like if I was to guess, I would think Grand Slam might be last. But like how either Zap or Cobra isn't in the top 10 is a little interesting to me, because like who doesn't love Cobra figures?
Yes.
I mean, everyone Army builds that guy. Like
it's interesting that the officer is higher ranked than the trooper.
Yeah, and Zap, I mean, I guess people still have some PTSD over the thumbs breaking or something. I don't know, but like everyone loves Zap too. Yeah. So maybe it was a hard list. I mean, not everything got a lot of votes, but I don't know.
It's true with Cobra Commander taking 100.
Yeah,
plus of the
a third of the votes.
A third of the votes.
I mean, that's hey, can't complain.
All right. Thanks for watching this super exciting, outrageous toy review. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check back. We'll be releasing videos with the other years in the near future.